using the work of another auditor. ICAI definitions. SA 600 deals with the responsibilities of the principal auditor when using work of another auditor while auditing the financial statements of an entity. ICAI keywords: principal auditor, other auditor, components, competence, due diligence. Coordination, documentation, division of responsibility, modified opinion. So exam keyword வந்து principal auditor means principal auditor may rely on the work of another auditor after exercising due diligence. So principal auditor may rely upon the work of another auditor only application of knowledge, that means due diligence. Scope. What is the scope of 600 using work of another auditor? Applicable when branch auditor, subsidiary auditor, associate auditor, or joint venture auditor has audited a component. Example: ABC Limited branch in Chennai, branch in Mumbai. So Chennai branch audited by X and Mumbai branch audited by Y. So parent company audited by Z. So here the principal auditor is Z because Mumbai branch and the Chennai branch audited by the another auditors, but he uses the auditor of another auditor, but next SA 600 does not apply. Joint auditor SA 299 joint auditors, predecessor auditors covered under SA 510 initial audit engagements. So these sections which not apply for a 600. What do you mean by another auditor? Any auditor other than principal auditor is called another auditors. Any auditor other than the principal auditor who audits the financial information of a component. Examples: branch auditors, subsidiary auditors, foreign component auditors audited the balance sheet and P&L account and the financial statements that should be used by the principal auditor. Relevance in cost and financial statement and consolidated financial statements applicable while auditing holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, joint ventures. Auditor, principal auditor uses work of component auditors. Responsibilities or considerations of principal auditors. Before relying on another auditor's work, first of all, you have to evaluate the competence. Whether principal auditor should evaluate professional competence, due care, independence, experiences of the principal subsidiary auditors or another auditors. In case if another auditor is a CA member, generally no further evaluation is required, means special circumstances exist. Decide whether reliance is appropriate. He may visit component review books, perform additional procedures if it is necessary, but he does not believe blindly without evaluation of the appropriators of accounts. Give written instructions. Principal auditor should communicate audit procedures, reporting requirements, materiality, and timeline. So that is written communication is very important. And given written instructions to the another auditors, obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Yes, every principal auditor should get appropriate audit evidence. Then only disclosures or opinion in financial statement gives a true and fair view. So review of work. Principal auditors may review written summary, ask a questionnaire, and request supplementary procedures. Consider significant findings, understand misstatements, control deficiencies if there. Risk of fraud is there. Identify the component auditors. What are the significant findings? Because audit was done by the another auditor. Another auditor பண்ணியிருந்தாலுமே இப்போ பிரின்சிபல் ஆடிட்டர் வந்து சிக்னிஃபிகண்ட் ஏதாச்சும் சிக்னிஃபிகண்ட் முக்கியம் சிக்னிஃபிகண்ட் ஃபைண்டிங்ஸ் இஸ் தேர், understand the statements, control deficiency is there. You should find out. Discuss important matters. Discuss with other auditors, component management if necessary. Consider modified report. If competent auditor gives qualified opinion, adverse opinion, or disclaimer opinion, principal auditor should determine whether his own report also requires notifications. Obtain representations. Obtain confirmations that the standard of accounting standards complied, auditing essays complied, reporting requirements complied. Yes. Coordinations between auditors, principal auditors should maintain liaisons, send written communications, inform significant matters. Other auditors should also follow this timeline, inform significant findings, comply with laws, require questionnaires. Role of the other auditor should understand the place of business and should understand the purpose, coordinate the with other auditors, follow statutory requirements, respond on timely manners. What is the documentation required by the auditor to do that? Principal auditor should document ICAI, component auditor significance, name of the auditors, procedures, performed, conclusion reached, the handling of modified report, acceptance, considerations, and principal auditor considers material of the component, knowledge of business, and risk of material misstatement, and the need for additional procedures. Access to working purpose. Yes, access to working purpose is very important functions. Why? Because very important questions. Principal auditors that does not have to right to inspect the working purpose of another auditor. Why? Because Section 230 says documentation working papers belongings to that auditor who have audited the financial statements. So, principal auditor cannot ask another auditor for audit work regarding the 230 that is working papers. Principal auditors may ask questions, seek clarifications, submit explanations, but cannot demand working papers. ICAI fair questions. Can holding company auditor demand subsidiaries auditor working papers? Definitely no, because working papers belonging to only the auditor who prepared them. Reporting considerations means principal auditor should issue qualified opinion or disclaimer if situation 1 cannot rely on auditor's work and situation 2 cannot perform sufficient additional procedures. If auditor modifies report, principal auditor should evaluate whether modification is material to consolidated the financial statement. And division of responsibilities. Normally, principal auditor is not responsible for work performed by other auditor unless he ignores obvious warning signs. Yes. ஒரு பிரின்சிபல் ஆடிட்டர் வந்து ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள் ஆகலாமான்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா எஸ் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள் ஆகலாம். ஆனால் அவர் அந்த ஆடிட்டர் வந்து சொன்ன சைனை வந்து மறக்காமல் இருக்கணும். அதனால வந்து சொல்கிறாங்க he ignores obvious warning signs. When report mentions reliances, report should disclose division of responsibility is thus components audited by others. Extent of financial information is covered. Example, ABC Limited parent company turnover is 100 crore, branch Coimbatore turnover is 20 crore. Audited by the another auditor. Principal auditor evaluate competence, sends instructions, review summary, obtain evidence, uses report, mentions divisions of responsibility necessary. Though practical cases, PQR holding subsidiary in Germany audited by the local auditors, principal auditor in India never contacted auditor of Germany, never reviewed summary, never evaluated complaints, issued a clean report. Is it good? No. He should not use the clean report because later subsidiary had inventory fraud 60 crores, auditor's mistakes. Yes, he does not utilize his due diligence, coordination with them, and documentations and evaluation of the work done by the another auditor and violation of rules and regulations and compliance of law. So SA 600 opinion becomes inappropriate. Why? Because principal auditor should understand the concept. So that's why it is inappropriate. Frequently asked ICA keywords, principal auditor, other auditor, competence, written communications and due diligence. Sufficient appropriate audit evidence, documentations, modified report, qualified opinion, disclaimer of opinion, division of responsibility and component of auditor report. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப முக்கியமான பாயிண்ட்ஸ். ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு write in your examinations using the work of another auditors, communications, competence, evidence, documentations, and modified report, division of responsibility. So CC, EMD, competence, commission, evidence, documentations, modified report, and divisions of responsibility. ஒரு ஆடிட்டர் மற்றொரு ஆடிட்டருடைய வேலையை பயன்படுத்துறது தான் ஒரு நிறுவனத்தின் பிரான்ச், சப்சிடரி, அசோசியேட், ஜாயின் வெஞ்சர்ஸ்க்கு போடணும். ஆடிட் வேறு ஆடிட்டில் செஞ்சுருந்தா பிரின்சிபல் ஆடிட்டர் அந்த ஆடிட்டை பயன்படுத்தி தனது ஆடிட்டர் கூப்பிங்க வழங்கலாம். ஆனால் பிளைண்டாக அதை ரிலை பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஆடிட்டர் காம்படண்ட்டாக இருக்கிறாரா, இல்லை ப்ரொஃபஷனல் டியூக்கராக இருக்கிறாரா, இல்லை இண்டிபெண்ட்டாக இருக்கிறாரா, ஆடிட் எவிடன்ஸ் போதுமா, முக்கிய ஃபைண்டிங்ஸ் என்ன, சிக்னிஃபிகன்ஸ் என்ன, டாக்குமெண்டேஷன்ஸ் தயார் செய்துள்ளாரா என்பதெல்லாம் உறுதி செய்ய வேணும். பிரின்சிபல் ஆடிட்டர் செய்ய வேண்டியவை மற்ற ஆடிட்டரின் திறமையை மதிப்பிட வேண்டும். அதாவது காம்படன்ஸ், ரிட்டன் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் அனுப்ப வேண்டும். எப்படி நீங்கள் ஒர்க் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்க, நான் எப்படி ஒர்க் பண்ணணும்னு. ஆடிட்டர் சம்மரி பெற வேண்டும். அடுத்த ஆடிட்டர் ஒர்க் பண்ணதோட ஆடிட்டரோட சம்மரி எடுத்து பார்க்கணும். சிக்னிஃபிகண்ட் ஃபைண்டிங்ஸை பரிசீலிக்கணும். தேவையானால் கூடுதல் ஆடிட் ப்ரொசீஜர் செய்ய வேண்டும். அனைத்தையும் டாக்குமெண்டேஷன் தான் செய்யணும். ஒரு பிரின்சிபல் ஆடிட்டர் சப்சிடரி ஆடிட்டின் ஒர்க்கை கேட்கலாம், ஆனால் கட்டாயமாக பார்க்கும் உரிமை இல்லை. ஒர்க்கிங் பேப்பர் அந்த ஆடிட்டர்னு சொத்துன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. மற்றபடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மற்ற ஆடிட்டரோட ரிப்போர்ட்டை மாடிஃபை இருந்தால் பிரின்சிபல் ஆடிட்டரும் தனது ரிப்போர்ட்டை மாடிஃபை செய்து தான் வேணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்ல முடியும். பிரின்சிபல் ஆடிட்டர் கேன் யூஸ் த ஒர்க் ஆஃப் another auditor works only after evaluating competence, obtain sufficient appropriate evidence, communicating with them and coordinate properly, documentation procedures and additional audit procedures considering the impact on this audit opinion. இந்த பாயிண்ட்ஸு எக்ஸாமுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். இதை நீங்கள் எழுதுனா you will get more marks. Thanks students.